this video, I'm going to spend far too long in character creation, dance with a cow, and sell my junk to a farm girl. We're playing Guild Wars 2, which since 2015 has had the base game completely free with the expansions pay once, keep forever. Hey guys, it's Rage, and welcome to My First Time, a review series where I play a brand new MMORPG that I've never touched before, and today's is Guild Wars 2. A massive thank you to all my supporters on Patreon and on Twitch, more info on how to support at the end of the video. Now, I'm about to venture into a world completely unknown to me. I have been locked in what seems like a padded cell of an MMORPG we all know. So, as a recommendation from you, I finally decided to spread my wings, take the leap of faith, and treat myself to a wonderful, delectable, enchanting gaming experience. First off, the game downloads incredibly slowly. It's not you, it's the client. No, really. I launched the game and I'm greeted by a gorgeous watercolor pastel art scheme that flowed throughout the character creation process. You've got 5 races to choose from: Asura, Savari, Hume, Norn, and Chan. Obviously, I'm going to choose the human because having my life narrated by Nolan North seems like an absolute dream. There are 9 classes, with the Revenant being premium paid. All classes are viable, everyone does damage, and everyone heals themselves. So, if you die, you only have yourself to blame. Character creation is incredibly extensive. You can change your height, your hair, your physique, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your head, your toes, your shoulders, your head, your knees, your toes, your shoulders, your head, your knees, your toes, your god, your back, and your biggest regrets aren't your back, your background. So much. You can be handsome, you can be dashing, you can be... Don't be this. Whatever you do, don't be this. You could be anything. Don't be this. The roleplay choices don't affect the story, but do help you connect better with your character. My beautiful baby boy is a fabulous mesmer from the castle whose only regret is not finding his sister's body. My only regret is not coming up with a more creative name. Click play and cinematic.
The human race once ruled Tyria.
The cinematic looks lovely, sounds dull, but look, it's me! Regular WASD for movement on... Oh my god, the camera's inverted! No! That's okay, that's okay. We'll press escape, go into the settings, change things. Oh. Despite being called Guild Wars, you don't see that many guilds and none of them are at war. But the first war you as a player tackle is navigating these settings. It's difficult to read and hard to understand, just like me in my teenage years. Within MMO, there are 2 different distinct combat styles. Tab target, which locks onto your enemy independent of the camera, and action combat, which locks onto your camera on your mouse and sends all attacks into the center of the screen. So you need to aim. Guild Wars 2 does both, and you can freely choose between all of them at will. Game starts with a Shaymore, follow the green arrow. Along the way, I'm distracted. The game is wiggling at me and asks me to buy the expansions, but oh, Guild Wars, I'm just not that kind of gal. A problem I have right now, though, is understanding the combat. 1 spell slot, which cycles between 3 abilities, stacks when hit with succession, adds vulnerabilities on the target: red down arrow bad, blue up arrow good, up down left right spawner jetpack. But hey, at least healing is automatic. Applies to your character when you're out of combat, which means the only thing you have to worry about is lasting long enough. Get your mind out the gutter. You'd have to try really hard to get lost in this game. I mean, like, really hard. The minimap has icons galore. Green arrows guide you, green stars signify important NPCs, green circles show you quest objectives. The top right also serves as a reminder to the quest you're on and updates as you progress. With our first taste of combat done, we go on to the first in-game cutscene.
Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town. Captain Thackeray's calling for reinforcements at the garrison.
If he's calling for help, it must be serious. But I can't spare anyone.
I'll go. Captain Thackeray's never failed Divinity's reach. If I can help him, I will.
Balthazar, bless you. That's the spirit that'll win this war.
I'm voice acted by Nolan North, nonetheless. A graphical flourish draws my attention to the top right corner, so I know exactly what to do next and where to go. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, the music is just so dramatic and majestic. I love it. I can't help it. It makes me feel like I'm running with purpose, heading into battle, head to head with the unknown. I face more of the angry horses and make my way to the bridge, but wait a second. I've just realised can see my face. I can really see it. Right, what game developers tend to do is bait you into creating the perfect Barbie or Ken doll, but then when you go into game, it feels like you've received a Wish.com version. You do not look like the character in which you spent hours creating. It's utterly cruel and a total waste of time, but this was not a waste of time. Look at it. That is me. I am perfect and nobody will touch me because now I know how to dodge. This game didn't tell me, but a simple fat finger showed me that pressing V or W twice launches me forward. This game has a dodge mechanic. Ooh, it's like Dark Souls. I notice I have 2 dodges, and they charge up at the bottom of my health. A dodge is an immunity frame, so if you dodge through an enemy's attack at the right time, you'll negate all damage. You can even dodge over dangerous areas. So I dodge roll straight into a new event. A new event pop-up on screen shows me an orange circled area. Whenever an event happens, you're shown an orange circle on the minimap indicating the area of the event, and a list of objectives on the top right-hand corner. Defend the garrison from the centaurs. Next fight, I do what all women on the internet do. Sit back, relax, and let the men do all the work. Combat scenarios are shared with other players, allowing you to gain experience and progression for your quests so long as you're in the area, or have attacked the mob. So it feels like a community is playing rather than it being a competition. As you finish your event, you're led to the next, and it brings us into the way that Guild Wars does stories. I'm not necessarily given quests to complete, more so events to contribute to. Sometimes those events have been chained together to create a story. It makes it feel much more rewarding and fulfilling rather than a simple fetch quest. Go here, kill this, loot that, go back, hand in, go there, kill back, loot in, go back, hand in, kill this, go back, loot in. Stuck in a never-ending loop of quests that developers have blindsided themselves into thinking are fun when they're simply a reflection of dead passion. Now, I want to say that this fight is fun, but honestly, it's just a chaotic mess. The other players start the encounter and almost kill it before I even have a chance to make it across the bridge. Unfortunately, I wasn't shown the boss death cinematic. I think the game knew I wasn't deserving of it. However, I was locked in place while the others got to enjoy it. I couldn't move, couldn't jump, couldn't even cancel. Nice. After all that, I didn't even get to loot the boss. What a massive cock tease. Blood, sweat, tears went into that fight, and I didn't even get the sweet dopamine of picking up my own goddamn loot. Oh, defending Shaymore completed. This is where I find my reward. Hovering over the cursor shows me what these things are. Coins and experience, pretty much. Accepting that was enough to level myself up and get 2 more wheelie icons, a crest and a level up symbol. They want me to click it because it's wheelie. Opening up shows me what I've gained. Access to the hero panel, stat increase and weapon skill 2 unlocked. This is great because it clearly states your rewards. You can ask the game for further explanation and you can see future rewards. Right. A lot of MMOs have an exceptional level 1 to 20 leveling experience with a huge emphasis on end game content, which makes this middle section just suck. World of Warcraft is a great example for this. An amazing beginner-friendly experience at Exile's Reach and an impressive, well-equipped raid instances at the end of the game. The middle bit, a complete mess of timelines, narratives, and characters which I have absolutely no emotional connection to nor care about. It feels disjointed, a chore to slog through. Guild Wars doesn't feel like that because it shows me what's to come. It entices me to keep on leveling as the rewards are equally spaced out, and each are just as rewarding as the next. It looks and feels great. But the same can't be said for the hero panel. Oh god. It is swarmed with options, and its overlay looks like it's 20 years old. Hey, Guild Wars, Windows XP wants its theme back. But after staring at it for a good few minutes, I'm beginning to understand that these are story plots. Guild Wars 2 has 3 expansions, Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, and End of Dragons, with Living World being divided into multiple seasons and acting like a segue between each expansion. They can be purchased for money via the website or the in-game currency gems required to make purchases from the gem store. Guild Wars 2 has a microtransaction store. Boo! Which makes itself quite prevalent from the very beginning. Fortunately, the gem store is home to things that will only improve the way you look and will not give you any advantage over other players in the game. Unless looking like a Poundland Sub-Zero is your kind of thing, in which case, gimme all your money. The shop is filled with cosmetics that can make you look fearless, mighty, and sparkly while you're ripping and tearing through your enemies during combat. Speaking of combat, these combat builds are very confusing. There's pop-ups, hover-overs, icons, drop-downs, multiple template saves. What shall I click? What can I swap? What do I leave alone? I can see my action bar at the bottom. There's two. One for offensive attacks and one for defensive attacks. I have access to a few defensive abilities and can swap one out in favour for the other. I choose healing because, unlike any other MMO, if I die, I can't actually blame the healer. You have to be versatile. And versatile you shall be. You'd think I'd only have access to staves or wands. That would make sense for a magic caster, right? Wrong. In the weapon skills, you have access to a main hand sword, an offhand sword, a great sword, a scepter, a staff, and spears. Each weapon has its own set of spells and abilities tied to it, and at any point you can switch between weapons, revealing a whole other way to fight. Absolutely amazing for player freedom, but it's so complicated for somebody who's only an hour into the game. That deep hole we're diving into just keeps on going as we take a look at the achievements. This is the achievements panel. Look at it. It's overcrowded, it's dated, and it's repetitive, just like a busted gig. It may seem like it's categorized very well, and theoretically it is, but it's not very easy on the eye. And after all of this reading, I need some quick visual stimulation. My attention has completely drained, so let us continue on our journey. Speak to this scout, reveal new renown hearts, and onwards we go! In which direction? This is not the right way. Was it this way? This... no. This is a waypoint. Right. Fast travel. It exists in this game, which allows you to cut the time between traveling from point A to point B in real time for a small price of a few coins. Of course. You don't need to travel to and from a waypoint like a gateway or a teleport. You just find the waypoint that you'd like to visit on the map and click it. It's literally as simple as that. Waypoints look like this, and they're spread throughout the world, but my MMO program brain assumes that this was the objective point. There's so many different icons on the map, it proves quite difficult to understand which one the game wants me to head towards. It gives the player all that information without teaching them how to use it. Yet. There's a sparkling icon on the screen now. I must investigate. I head towards the bridge. A watercolor stroke draws my attention to the middle of the screen, which informs me that a new event has started. Destroy the roadblock the bandits have constructed to stop shame or traffic. Again, this is shared combat, so by the time I get there, the other players have done most of the work for me. I could get used to this. The quest is complete, signified by the yellow XP number and purple currency gain. A silver icon flexing underneath the event description tells me that the event has succeeded. The silver icon explodes into yellow orbs that drift towards my experience bar, showing me that my characters gained some experience points. We all disband and I turn back and oh my god, what is that? A red fluffy fox? It floats. No, it's bounding away into the distance before disappearing. Oh, I love it. I want it. I must have it. I'm so distracted by other things going on in this area. I've completely forgotten what I'm doing. Yes, the scout. Hello. You're about to show me everything I need to know in this area, aren't you? You cute little hidden game tutorial. The scout has a telescope icon above its head, and its purpose is to just deliver information about local quests or events. It's not necessarily forceful information, but it is part of the quest progression. A man reminiscent of Viserys Targaryen from Game of Thrones begins to explain all the icons around the map. This is a change of pace to the word vomit from earlier, as it's not only voice acted, but it's paired with yellow highlights signifying the point of interest that's being addressed, making it so easy to follow and understand. Exiting out of the map reveals a local heart event that flips and wiggles, drawing my attention to it and leading me down to a new location. I need to help a lady tend her farm. Help Dyer by tending corn, stomping worm mounds, entertaining cattle, and defending the fields, followed by a progression bar. I start by doing the worst impression of a floss I've ever seen, and turns out, the cow actually quite likes it. Pink hearts float from the cow's head, letting me know that I've done a great job. I tried to do it again with the same cow, and the cow remembers you. Oh, come on. Fine. Kicking, dodging, slapping and smacking my way through the farm one worm at a time. One worm drops me its glob of globby glue. Glob of globby goo. Some globby goo. Thanks. From previous RPG experience, I know that the hotkey for inventory should be I, so I inspect what I have. A wooden rod and a glob of globby glue. I remind you that this is literally the first two items the game gives you as a brand new player. A wooden rod and a glob of globby goo. Guild Wars, you are disgusting. I decide now is probably the best time to do what I do best. I take the wooden rod in my hand and I create some magic. Quite literally, as it looks like I'm unlocking a bunch of different magical abilities. Either bolt, either blast, either clone, all of which, when fired in succession, stacks and deals additional damage, making it one hell of a smack to the face. The animation of the spells are actually quite unique, nothing I've ever seen before. My ether clone rips through the world and phases in two duplicates of my character, and my ether blast and bolt create a watercolor paint across the world. From character creation to the maps to the spells, the watercolor theme is a staple for this game and present throughout. When my duplicates disappear, they are poofed out of existence and replaced by shimmering butterflies. A shimmering has the Filled Heart quest, which turns golden when fully completed. Great! Let's go and hand in my quest for my rewards. Except there is no hand in. There's no golden question mark above Dai's head. Did I do it right? I'm pretty sure I did. My progress is full. It says it's done. Ah. It turns out you only go back to the woman if you want to use her as a shop. Other than that, you can ghost her. The game devs must have gotten some advice from my ex-boyfriends. Whenever you complete a heart quest, you get a currency called Karma. Karma is across your account and not per character. You can use Karma to buy anything from the heart vendors, which every heart quest turns into when you complete it, or from the cosmetic shop to look any city guard that you want. Karma doesn't do much beyond being cosmetic and sometimes buying things from the shop. Let's take a look. An accessory, use it to get better. A tasty nom, eat it to get stuff. A stone, use it to get better. And another tasty nom. I noticed in the bottom right corner I have a few quests and a wiggly heart icon. A chest awarding me for playing around with the waypoint from earlier. The golden heart congratulating me on completing the quest. And another chest awarding me for completing the heart quest. And a level up icon giving me weapon skill 3, banking, and POI, or point of interests. They've shown up on my map now, highlighting different locations along with the heart quests. If I hover over the top left, I can see everything in this entire world, and certain areas flash on the map. Labels! They track my progress for completing certain tasks like visiting every waypoint, unlocking all the vistas, and completing all the heart quests. The game encourages me to become distracted, rewarding me for exploring the world, which is brilliant because I can literally never focus on one thing at one time. That's a running theme of the game, encouraging the player to do something for a reward as a way of learning the mechanics. Let's head up to a heart quest called Learn How to Dodge. Let's see how blatantly awful and obvious this mechanic is gonna be. Notice how that is a really simple way to teach a mechanic. Hey, there's a chest over here. It's free if you want it, but if you do, you're going to need to dodge over something dangerous to get it. Learn dodging. The game is rewarding me heavily for doing things that it wants me to do. It's not restricting me from doing anything. I could walk to the ends of the world or take on the final boss if I wanted to, but I'm rewarded for following the process that the game intended me to. So, not only has this game taught me how to fight, change weapons, swap spells, manage my inventory, giving me extra bag slots, and show me useful action abilities, but it's done it all in a really fun and intuitive way. The world is now open for me to explore. I can follow the advice, unlock waypoints, travel around, journey up, tackle bad guys, slay bosses, help maidens, literally anything that I want. I'm a strong, lethal, dependable hero. So I'm going to spend the next 3 hours playing the jumping puzzle. Throughout the world, there are an extensive amount of hidden jumping puzzles placed there to test players' ability to traverse across the map. They're a rigid feature of the core game itself, seeing players hop, skip, and jump their way through city skylines. They are so infamous, in fact, that there's an entire wiki page dedicated to just them. Puzzles are hidden. They're not supposed to be found so easily. So I enlist the help of my friend Josh, who comes to me looking like a midlife crisis Gandalf. Seriously? The game encourages you to be who you want to be, and he chose this. Alright. The landscape is beautiful, and to really take this in, Josh tells me that by scrolling my mouse wheel, it's possible to go first person. Something I think I will rely on heavily soon. The surroundings are beautiful, the music tranquil. There's life all around this area, and although it's filled with enemy mobs, I don't feel threatened. It's mesmerizing to be in this area, a combination of the green grass, the giant trees, and floating rocks. Josh slips into a well-hidden side entrance that snakes around the rocks and leads us to a set of stepping stones. He informs me that this is the beginning of the jumping puzzle, the first test I must pass before facing the real thing: precision, focus, delicate moves. Oh, fuck. Not to worry, I shall circle back and try this again. It's just the beginning. How hard can it be? Bollocks. This is supposed to be easy. He's taken me to an easy one, and I can't even make it across the entrance of the easy puzzle. It fills me with so much hope. I can't wait to see what's beyond the corner. More jumps. Josh shows me the way with elegance, authority, confidence. He has flight on his toe beans that guide his feet where they need to be. I don't. I made it! Hey! Dotted around the puzzles are small chests filled with loot, acting as like a little reward for completing the previous challenge. It's like giving yourself a little bit of a morale boost, like, don't worry, the pain will end soon. Stepping through the portal transports me to the beginning of the puzzle. Hexane Regard. Regrade. Regradi. Floaty rock jump puzzle. This takes place miles above ground. Floating islands guide the way towards the finish. Fall down and you simply respawn back at the beginning. It takes a combination of skill, patience, and problem solving to complete a jumping puzzle. Not something that I have. Not only does it demand a certain level of mechanical control of your character, but also the ability to carve out potential paths, and ultimately a level head to keep you calm and focused after you've fallen off the same rock a handful of times. Your first objective is to find the attunement device, which hides beyond the beaten path. Interact with it, and then, only then, are you able to pass through the next portal. This jumping puzzle is split into 4 different sections, each partnering up with its own element. This one is wind. I get my ass beaten a handful of times by this wind, that's what she said, before realizing that it requires careful timing to cross successfully. Touch the wind at the wrong time, you'll get knocked back, if you're lucky, or knocked off, which sends you plummeting towards the ground. The next element, lightning. This is the stormy station. Unlike the previous section, this has imminent danger. The lightning will damage you significantly if it touches you, forcing the player to make quick decisions on where to jump and where. Oh, and I died again. I do have the option of using a waypoint again, but Josh tells me to wait. Short pause. 3 numbers flicker beside me, and a red bar fills up at the bottom of my screen. This is the resurrection mechanic. Having him with me is proving to be quite beneficial. When I'm up, his character does an emote where he wipes the back of his palm across his forehead, almost like he's relieved to have saved me. Oh, how cute. We continue. Onwards to find the next attunement device and... oh my god, how do we even get across this section? Surely our characters can't make that jump, right? I wonder what the mechanical distance is that we can cover when we jump. Ah. Yeah, it's probably not that way. Maybe it is that way then. Bye, Josh. On the way back, I made an absolutely vital mistake. Heading straight towards Josh, I jumped, leap, bounded towards him, but I'm getting clapped every single time. Not in the way that I like. Nearly dead. Not good. Use healing spell. Health restored. Jump and... Oh, come on. Not again. Fight to survive. Oh, God. Now I'm falling. Stuck outside of the jumping puzzle. On the floor. Fighting to survive? Alright. Guild Wars 2 has 3 different life states. Alive, downed, and defeated. Defeated, we've seen many times during this run, but downed. This is a first. When you're down, the screen pulsates red with blood-tainted vision, and the sound is bass-dampened. It's all really disorientating. Your spells are replaced with a new set, damage control, utility, and healing. But not healing in a sense where I can pick myself up. No, that would be way too useful. I can only do that by killing an enemy, and I'm not going to find one here, or by leveling up, which I had no idea about until I read the wiki. That yellow crest icon in the bottom right corner, yeah, that little thing right there, clicking that would have got me back up. That would have leveled me up. Alternatively, a player can come right along and pick me back up. Unfortunately, Josh was preoccupied with gravity. No bother, I waypoint back and make my way towards him again. Rinse and repeat, clapped by lightning, but now another lightning strike takes me out on top of the island. I'm dead inside the puzzle. I'm dead, and I don't have access to the waypoint below me. I'm dead, and I cannot get out. No matter how many layers of the map I explore, I literally cannot get out of this island puzzle. I am puzzled. I teleport to the nearest waypoint I have unlocked and begin making my way towards where I think I should be. It's not until I walk all the way around the settlement of evil frogs do I realise, I did have the original waypoint unlocked after all. Pay attention and read waypoints location, folks. They are incredibly vital. This guy had an exceptional weapon, by the way. Like, literally no point in mentioning this, but I look at it. It rips and tears through the fabric of the air, leaving a galaxy in its place. It's called Eternity, a legendary greatsword. Teleporting during jump-on puzzles seems to be quite a common thing to do. In fact, it's a Mesmer that saves me a load of anguish during this particular part of the puzzle. He places a teleport at the base of the tree and another one at the finish so that I can teleport over with ease. A common thing you'll find in Guild Wars 2, particularly at new jumping puzzles. Mesmers offer teleports at challenging parts of the puzzles. They will place a teleport at point A and make their way to point B, allowing other players to cross without worry about falling. And they do this? Well, they do it for fun. They do it to help out of the goodness of their own hearts. Which, I mean, coming from a World of Warcraft background absolutely baffles me. Like, mages in WoW, which is the equivalent to a Mesmer in Guild Wars 2, we charge players gold to use personal portals to major cities. Like, why wouldn't you? Hello? 50 gold, port to Dala. In Guild Wars, gold seems irrelevant. There's very little the player could give to another that would benefit. The community aspect in this game feels really strong, and it's derivative of an attitude from the game devs. They've purposely chosen not to emphasize currency so that exchanges feel more natural, valued, and appreciated between players. It makes the world feel a lot more alive, welcoming, warm. The complete opposite of the third and final station, which is the chilly station. I'm often finding myself frozen in place, ice particles obstructing my view, and I can hear chilly winds all around me. Above the spell bar shows any positive buffs, things that are put on my character to improve my performance in some way, and any negative buffs, things that are put on my character to hinder me. Whenever I'm caught in a chilly patch of puzzle, I'm hit with a debuff that decreases my movement speed for some time. So if this happens while I'm mid-jump, well, yeah, it's just what's causing me to fall, really. In fact, let's cast our minds back to a lovely memory I have of this exact jumping puzzle.
In fact, I'm pretty sure I bought the game just so I could do that jumping puzzle earlier.
Maybe that can be a follow-up video, seeing as I'm doing so well on this.
That was amazing.
Jumping puzzles are bittersweet. The original Guild Wars didn't feature them, so when the developers got their hands on Third Dimension, they decided to create something special. People said, "You can't encourage players to boundary break your city skylines!" And the devs said, "Bet." And God bless them for it. Never have I ever experienced an MMO that encouraged me to explore the possibilities of boundaries, punished me for not being pixel perfect, and even taught me that I have more anger inside me than I ever thought was flipping possible! God, these jumping puzzles do my head in! Our very final task was to take on the boss, the enemy, ruling over this hellish dominion. What could it be? It has to be scary, intimidating, ferocious. I'm ready to unleash my anger that I've built upon during this freaking jumping puzzle experience. Oh, I think it's a humongous frost giant or some other monstrous being. Oh, it's a child. I'm fighting a child. I climbed all the way up here to face the wrath of a child? Oh, I even feel bad for them. They're crying. They're begging for mercy as we pummel them to the ground with our duplicates and hellhounds. The frig is this game? A graphical flourish fills the screen with golden light, showing me that I have leveled up, and an envelope flashes on the screen, leading me to one of the icons on the top left-hand screen. Ah, it's the in-game mail system with a note from Lord Farron, demanding that I return to Divinity's Reach at once. Ah, I've reached level 10. More main story is unlocked. So, I've not only been rewarded for going against what traditionally you would do at such a low level, it's also incorporated a tutorial for the in-game mail system, and I've gained experience from just playing the game how I want to. Well, I want to see how far I can actually push this. We head back to the starting zone and find a hopeless maiden, Cassie, who needs our help. She tells us that her dear husband has always dreamt of running a mower farm, but they've been absolutely plagued by bandits, and she wants us to search her bushes until she's satisfied and then enter the cave. The cave of the bandits, to retrieve the food. For the mowers, obviously. And we do just that. Kicking, prodding, and nudging the nearby bushes until enemies pop out of them and begin attacking us. After all the bushes have been well and truly investigated, we head into the cave and start absolutely obliterating all the bandits inside. When a high-level player joins a low-level player, the high-level player's level gets scaled down to the low-level player. So, in Josh's case, his level 32 character is scaled down to mine, which means that his player power, equipment, and spells hit for significantly less than it would if he wasn't in a party with me. But he still keeps his roster of spells and abilities, including weapon ability 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as his secondary weapon. The game tries to level scale, and to an extent it does, but not well enough. If Josh was locked out of switching weapons and some abilities like me, then it definitely would even out the playing field. However, it doesn't, and he helps me massacre the cave in no time. It's like having my own personal bodyguard. Quest complete, and I run back to the quest giver because it's absolutely ingrained into my brain before realizing, she's a shop lady now. We continue along with our adventure, and I get a silent pop-up on the side of my screen. There are few players remaining on this map. Would you like to move to a more populated version of the same map? You have 60 seconds to volunteer before the map closes. Your reward will be Volunteer's Blessing. Movement speed increased by 15%, Karma Game increased by 5%, experience from kills increased by 10%, and lasts for 10 minutes. Wow. It's telling me that the shard, or the instance, I'm currently playing on right now has low population and is encouraging me to switch over to a more populated one. Not only for the server's benefit, but also mine. This is absolutely genius. In other MMOs, they tend to hide the fact that players are sharded and make it difficult to navigate them. Here, however, you're given the opportunity to move over at your own free will and are rewarded by doing it. It makes me feel like I have control over my own gaming experience. Level 7 rewards you with Vistas, we'll check that out in a moment, and the Black Line Trading Company, which is the in-game shop. Hold on a second. I had access to the in-game shop ages ago. Like, that's how I knew about the city guards and the cosmetics but the game is only informing me about it now. So all the features of this game, the in-game shop, down skills, inventory, they're all accessible immediately. You don't have to reach a certain level in order to use them. The game introduces these elements bit by bit when it feels like you need to use them. This is such a genius process to navigate the core features. It doesn't hinder the experienced players who may need immediate access to it, but it also doesn't overwhelm new players by showing everything instantly. Much like Vistas. These are available to interact with right away, but the game doesn't teach you what they are until later on. Vistas are interactive scrolls dotted around points of the world. When connected, they trigger a beautiful cinematic that shows you the surrounding area and places that you're probably familiar with. See? That there? That's the forest Josh and I were in earlier. each zone has a number of vistas to collect. Collect all of them and you'll be rewarded with the title Explorer. Some vistas are incredibly hard to get to and are often tagged onto jumping puzzles in the cruelest way you can imagine. A jumping puzzle named Troll's Revenge has a great vista overlooking the area. It's easy to get to, provided you've gone through the painstakingly difficult previous area that infuriates you enough to pull your hair out. Killing joke of all this, if you do decide to make your way to the vista, you've unknowingly yourself. You're unable to make it back onto the main part of the jumping puzzle and are forced to go through all of it all over again.
You fool.
But hey, at least I look absolutely fabulous while doing so. I dyed my armor red for free. Opening up the hero panel and selecting dyes displays your character's full body. I can click on individual armor pieces and colour each of them. A few colours are available right away, which is very nice to have, but most of them are locked. Let's see how you go about unlocking them then. The Trading Post. This is the in-game auction house that allows players from all worlds, NA and EU, to trade with each other. You can view all dice via price and can pick up some good dice very cheap this way. If people are selling dice, then that must mean that they can create dice, and you can. By picking up the cooking profession, becoming a chef, you can, over time, brew your own set of dice. Another option is purchasing die packs from the gem store, leveling through the first 3 stories in the game, and finally, just by being old. And no, I'm not talking about those of you born in the 90s. I'm talking about your characters being old. Simply by having a character existing for 3 years or more allows you to choose a birthday present, that of which contains non-tradable dice. Once you're happy with your dice selection, you can change it free of charge. But transmuting, the system that allows players to customize the appearance of their equipment, costs transmutation charges. I don't need to worry about that just yet because I look fabulous. Now that I'm feeling great, I meet back up with Josh and we do the globally accepted action of hi, hello, I'm really glad to see you. I want to explore more of this area. I want to see what else heart quests have to offer. Are they more of the same or is there something different? Questing has been such a different experience from the get-go, from fighting off a group of centaurs to dancing with cows to make them happy. This is making the leveling process feel much more enjoyable. I'm happy to contribute and explore the world, and gaining experience from it feels like a bonus. I'm happy to explore Darling's pumping station too. Seems like he needs some help, and if there's one thing I'm experienced in, it's pumping my time into heart quests. This is a point available, beautiful cinematic, another one to add to the list, and Darling's quaking by the time we get there, and the heart quest is already started. This time, it's a group chain event to stop a group of bandits from taking bombs straight to the pipes. We stab, hack, slash our way through a group of mobs as they come in waves towards the pipes. Their aim is to destroy the pipes. Our aim is to destroy them. As the time limit ticks down, so does our stable water pipes, 1 out of 3 remaining. Fortunately, whether we win or lose, the heart quest follows a chain of events, regardless of the heart quest success. Stage 1 leads to stage 2, leads to stage 3, leads to stage 4, and so on. Our next task is to defend the workers whilst they repair the pumping station. 1 progress bar for the west pipe and 1 progress bar for the center pipe. These were the earlier pipes that we didn't quite manage to defend. As we cause mayhem on the ground, another player rains terror from above via his mount. A white dragon type creature that seems to spit hellfire onto our enemies. Flying is an active combat mechanic. Excellent. All our efforts are combining quite nicely despite our huge level differences thanks to the dynamic scaling. The quest to me is level appropriate, the quest to Josh is level appropriate, the quest to the menacing dragon rider is level appropriate. Nothing feels out of place, inferior, or too difficult to overcome, providing we work together. Continue to explore the area. A graphical flourish on screen tells me a new event is nearby. Is it that giant wasp in front of me by any chance? A horned skull icon next to its event details. Perhaps that means it's quite difficult? But there's dynamic scaling, so it should be easy. Ah. Maybe not. But hey, at least I'm learning how to resurrect people. Just like the game's download speed, it takes a really long time. Boss Queen defeated, loot gained, inventory full. I think it's time we take a trip into the main city. Divinity's Reach. The capital for the human race. But there's also Ratisum for Asira, Black Citadel for Charl, Holbrick for Norn, and the Grove for the Silvari. They all feature the same resources as NPCs and merchants, and anyone can visit any one of these cities regardless of their race. And each race has its own set of POI, vistas, and waypoints. The city is alive. NPCs have idle yet interesting conversations worth eavesdropping in. A background buzz of voices fade in and out depending on where you walk in the city, and almost every NPC you interact with has a vocal line to greet you in some way. The sound of moans, groans, laughs, shouts, axes onto wood, hammer into anvil. The city feels alive. The music bed is wholesome, warm, and welcoming amidst of brass instruments, making it feel majestic yet calming with the help of the string instruments. As I walk towards a quieter area of the city, I can see two children playing. A cute story interaction between them both. In front of me, a merchant I can sell my inventory to. Navigating here was actually quite simple thanks to the gold icon above her head. These are dotted all around the map and symbolize an NPC that you can sell your unwanted items to. I was able to set a personal waypoint onto her using Alt-Click, which Josh actually could see too. Interestingly, you can also draw on the map with Shift right click and others can see it. This makes it vastly easier to point to a direction, mark an area, or even give instruction. I wonder if it makes group content easier to govern. Well, if it doesn't, at least you can draw a penis and everyone else can see it. This merchant sells a few different consumable items, mostly steins of ale, one aloe vera seed, and an observational zymology manual, which apparently unlocks the Brewmaster collection. Despite this, I'm able to shovel her all my junk that I've collected. Oh, what's this? Garnet Pebble +3 power. Double click to apply to an item with an unused upgrade slot. Gems are added to armor pieces, which increases player power. Power, precision, toughness, vitality, concentration, condition damage, expertise, ferocity, and healing power. These are called attributes. The game hasn't told me about this though, but my knowledge in MMOs makes the system easily recognizable. I've got a bunch of gems, so I don't know, let's just slam all these on random pieces of armor. That's not gonna backfire at all, is it? No, not at all. Sell the rest of my junk, and now I have a solid amount of copper, and it's burning a hole in my pocket. I'm gonna see what I can spend it on. Now I'm a girl, obviously. Hi. I like clothes. So there's nothing more exciting to me than playing dress up, and Josh knows the perfect place to find all the merchants I would need. But there's an issue. I can't teleport to the location because I'm not high enough level, or I need to purchase the game. Wow. Talk about abusing customer pockets. Good job, Guild Wars, just as you were getting into my good books. Actually, I went away and asked the Guild Wars to Discord what this was about, and it's actually not as predatorial as I first expected. Lion's Arch is a central hub for all things social. Players gather here, conversations are buzzing, merchants are plentiful. It is the place to be when you're not adventuring out in the wild. It's also home to one of the best jumping puzzles, Troll's Revenge, so at some point I'm gonna have to buy the game. But until then, I just want cool clothes, man. Climb up to the Vista, grab the icon, enjoy the beautiful cinematic, and I've leveled up. The game actively rewards me for being distracted. I love this. I wish the same could be said for my writing process of this script and video, though, because, like, yeah, no one was rewarding me for that. I've unlocked gathering. Now I can play Farming Simulator. Yay! Mining, logging, and harvesting are all available so long as I have the appropriate tools equipped, which, coincidentally, the game has given to me for free. But that still hasn't solved my clothes issue. I'm looking like a knockoff Gandalf right now, and I ain't digging it. Not to worry, Josh knows of a swanky place I can get a sweet upgrade. The Cultural Armor Smith. Required level 80? And 30 gold pieces each? What am I supposed to do with this, Josh? Well, I guess I don't mind a little bit of window shopping. Right-clicking on an item and selecting preview pops up a window showing me what those items would look like on my character. Despite the NPCs looking ferocious and cool, I resemble a cursed Ronald McDonald. I guess it's knockoff Gandalf from now on then. Interestingly, armor stats don't seem to matter much in Guild Wars 2. The numbers on these prestigious pieces are actually quite low. If the focus was solely on the numbers, then the scope would be much wider, allowing players to account for the 1%, but it's not. Most of these pieces stay around the 30 to 40 mark. almost like they're not important. I head back to the gardens and shock horror, I've leveled up again. This time, unlocking profession skills, a unique combat ability tied to my class, and unity skills, non-specific abilities that sit in 3 slots in my bar. I choose Prayer to Lycia, a buff spell that grants me random boon or a buff to myself, and a random condition or debuff to my target. Simple enough. And then I get to hero points, awarded for leveling up around Tyria and by completing challenges. The tip window, bordered by a yellow watercolour, points me to the direction of the training tab. Ah, the all too familiar skill tree. Spend points to unlock skills, to unlock more 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 skills. I do what every new player does in this situation and slam all my points into one thing until the icon stops flashing. And now, I can salvage and craft by visiting a master craftsman to learn the trade. A fundamental mechanic of MMORPGs allowing me to craft armor and weapons, brew potions, and even cook food. Finally, I'm made aware of laurels, a currency granted through daily logins, which can be spent at laurel merchants in major cities. They sell bags, gear, tools, trophies, crafting materials, and pets, or miniatures, as the game calls them, as well as tonics, which transforms you into different models. All the items are both tradable and non-tradable. I don't have many laurel points right now, but I'll be back. Just you wait. Speaking of pets, mine is back, and he's joining me for the next set of story quests. He can enjoy the story, help with the quest, but he cannot gain progress for his own character. Grab your popcorn, it's time to go.
The hero of Shaymore returns. Come and see how friends and neighbors alike have turned out to welcome you home.
A party, Farron? For me? Or is this just an excuse to get your friends together and see what's in my wine cupboard?
Nonsense! I wish my servants loved me half as much. But then, I am lovable in other ways.
And the less said about that, the better.
The choices I made during the create a character process has affected the story. I have status, authority, a pie for me? Oh, you shouldn't have. Since I am a dashingly handsome lord, I think it's best that I socialise with these folk. A lovely lady flirts with me, but oh no, Baroness Yolanda, I'm just not that sort of lord. And just as fleeting as that social interaction was, the party comes to a halt.
Take your hands off me, you scum! Help!
Huh, you're kidding me, right? Bandits!
Well, looks like we have some fresh butt to kick. At this point, combat seems incredibly easy. Even without the help of Josh, the enemies are no match for my abilities and my new spells. It's a joke, a total pushover, not even close to a challenge. Perhaps this is what combat is like throughout the game. Or maybe I'm just given a lesser experience being level 10. Even quest progression is easy. It's aided by the green arrows on the minimap holding my hand to the next encounter. If you had an IQ of 12, you probably wouldn't struggle to play this game. With Lord Farron saved, I'm given a choice of armor, and it's on to the next quest. Another maiden, some more bandits, quest escalates to an escort. Not that kind of escort, a quest escort. Quite common in the MMORPGs where you escort an NPC from point A to point B, commonly tackling some foes along the way. In this case, a group of farmers have been taken captive by bandits in the cave, and it's my job to take them safely home. And they're quite vocal, sounding off voice lines every now and then. Unlike any escort quest I've ever seen before, this one is very easy to keep track of. They run to a certain point, stop, wait for the enemies to die before moving on. It's like a walking harness for a toddler. They can stamp their feet all they want, but they're only moving when you move. When the farmers are saved, we run into a captain and his guards. The wonderful, handsome, fearless Logan Thackeray. Think Matt Mercer if he was wearing shoulder pauldrons twice the size of his face. Chasing the culprits completed, and I'm given a choice. An offhand, a pistol, or a staff. Hovering over the item shows me what I currently have equipped in that slot. Red numbers are bad, green numbers are good. 1 gem slot versus 2 gem slots. The obvious answer would be the staff. Ah, remember those gems that I put into the sword earlier? Yeah, turns out they're permanent and I can't remove them now. It's very important to plan ahead when it comes to gem slot in your weapons and armor. Otherwise you end up doing this. Double wielding staffs? Rage, why? Why? Why do I do this? It makes literally no sense. What drove me to this decision? I have absolutely no idea, because now I have a double set of staff abilities. It serves no purpose. I need some social support. I need someone to guide me. Josh keeps taking me on jumping puzzles, and I need a guild. Oh, there's no search function. I can't look for a guild and then apply. I have to be invited. Old school. Ugh. Luckily, we bumped into a guild member of Josh's called Trent, Ultra Giga Chad, who invited me into the guild and showed me how to /talk in guild so I could stop using public chat for private conversations. Oh, and he also picked me back up when I fell to death from my jumping puzzles. I want more. I need more. I have to get more. Lion's Arch is the place to attempt more trivial jumping puzzles, but I'm locked out of Lion's Arch. Hey. Wouldn't it be great if there was an Amazon Prime Day that gave you 50% off base game and expansions? Wow, would you look at that? Unfortunately, the sale didn't go live in Europe, so I was unable to get the game code from my side of the pond, but game codes aren't region locked, which meant I could purchase it from the US shop and use it on my EU account. Shout out to the Guild Wars 2 Discord for putting up with my endless questions and replying with nothing but friendly, useful, and helpful information. Love ya! That's something that echoes throughout the Guild Wars 2 community. Friendly, helpful, kind people that offer nothing but their free time to make sure that you have a good time. The world is full of heartwarming players, enchanting stories, and well thought out mechanics. It provides such a different MMO experience to anything I've ever had before. I've been stagnant, jaded, and lost in 14 years of World of Warcraft. That game has my heart, still has my heart. I'm part of its culture. But it stopped me from expanding my gaming horizons. It stopped me from experiencing something completely different. WoW is that jealous ex-boyfriend who keeps tabs on your Instagram story. It doesn't matter how confident you are that you're free. You know it's always watching, waiting, lurking, ready to pounce on you at a moment of weakness. Guild Wars 2 is that lovely blonde fella that I met on Tinder, went on one date with, and now head over heels for. We still have so much to explore about each other. PvP, endgame, dungeons, raids, professions, and for once, I'm gonna take it slow. Enjoying each and every moment of this game, savouring every last drop of content. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and a massive thank you to my Patreon and Twitch subscribers for supporting my channel. You can join them from £1 a month. Check the video description for links to my Patreon, Twitch, socials, and Discord. I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!